Hey y'all, it's Michelle from the Scattered Scrapper. Welcome to my channel. Today is Killicut Sunday and I am scrapping these two pictures of my daughters at the ice skating rink. And I've got some papers picked out, some embellishments picked out, even some old tattered Angels Glimmer Mist in aquamarine for some splatters maybe at the end. So let's get started. This layout is based on a layout that Shimelle did back in December, I think, during her Best of Both Worlds videos that she's been doing. And I just really liked how she did that particular layout, and I really think this could very easily become a go-to design, especially when you have two smaller pictures like I do here. So what I'm doing here is I'm using this pink polka dot as my main background, and I have cut a strip of this teal paper that I'm going to put up here at the top. And this is a good chance to use up some washi tape. So I'm going to use this black and basically clear, black and white, black and clear. It's washi tape. You can see through it. But I'm going to use this to kind of cover up that join just a little bit. And I don't mind that you can see through it because most of it's going to get covered up. So I'm not too worried about it. And then I'm using this really shimmery, it's not really glitter, I guess it is, it's just very small glitter, so it looks more shimmery than it does glittery, but I'm using that as well to put on top, and then I'm going to trim my pictures down, and I'm going to trim this white border that I printed them with down just a little bit. And I just printed these on a 4x6, so they're both just a little bit smaller than 3x4. And then I'm going to mat them on this pink. It kind of looks like little cross stitches or something like that. But I'm just really wanting it for the color. I want the pictures to pop off of that teal. And of course my ATG gun runs out of tape, so I have to stop and load that back up, and then I can get going again. And I'm just gonna trim these up, and I've actually put a little bit wider border of the pink paper than I left of the white. So I've got those, and I'm wanting to kind of put them at a little bit of an angle, and I want them off-centered rather. And now I'm going through some die cuts to figure out how I want to frame these pictures. So one reason why I say that this particular layout would probably become a go-to design for me is because it's really similar to one that I already have as a go-to design that I use when I have one 4x6 picture, or one picture that's either a vertical 4x6 or a horizontal 3x4. And basically you do the same thing, only it's a little more in the center instead of being up close to the top. But Shimelle, she called it a shelf design, and I'd not ever heard of this particular design being called that, but that's what she called it, so sounds good to me. And one of the things that she did differently than I've done is she did not use the washi tape in between the joins. She actually had like a border strip that she popped up on some foam, and so you could actually tuck things under it like they're sitting on a shelf, so hence the name, I guess. But here I'm going through these die cuts from that crepe paper collection. I can't remember the name of it. Snowflake? Something like that. Oh, and this die cut gave me such fits. It was perforated, but not very well, so I end up having to break my scissors out so I can trim this thing out. And even though I am trimming it with my scissors, I still have to go back and trim the edges again to get those little nubbies off from it being perforated. But I did want to use it because it is a little scene of people skating. And while you can't really tell in these pictures that we were at the skating rink, except, well, maybe you can see the scoreboard behind my younger daughter's head. But they're close up of their faces, so you can't really see that they are ice skating. But that's where we were, so I want to put all the little ice skating ephemera pieces that I have, or at least a lot of them, on this page. And I'm just going through and kind of playing with placement and figuring out where I want to put things. And I know I want to do a little bit of journaling, not much, so I have that little blank piece up there on the right. And then I was kind of thinking I needed to put something up here above my older daughter. And what I was trying to decide is, did I want anything above their pictures, or did I want to leave more of the teal paper showing? So I kind of go back and forth with that idea as I go to build my layers and things. So things were kind of disappearing into each other, so I decided to go ahead and use my ink to ink around the edges. And I'm just using hickory smoke in order to do that. And so now I'm like, okay, I'm ready to start kind of committing, because I need to put things down with some glue. So I'm going to start on the edge and have my pieces kind of hanging off the side. And then I know I want my pictures to be at a bit of an angle, and I know I want one to be just a little higher than the other. I don't want to go for a very blocky, linear look. Even though that teal paper and the washi tape are straight, everything else I want to be just slightly at an angle. Now, I had at first thought to use these birds just as they were, but they didn't really fit anywhere. But I really wanted to use them because there was 2 of them, and I got my 2 girls, so I decided to go ahead and fussy cut them out and give them a little bit of some definition with my ink. And then I'm going to put them on either side of the pictures. But, oh yeah, first I still have to put down the rest of these die cuts. So I get that down, and then I decide that this little 5-cent Admit One piece I'm going to pop up on some foam. And I just got these little foam squares from the Dollar Tree. I guess they're rectangles, not really squares. And instead of tucking it up underneath the picture, I decide to kind of overlap it just a little bit. I think it's just overlapping that pink frame. And then here I ended up with a little bit of a gap. So I was like, well, I need to fill this gap in. And so this piece here that I was going to put at the top of the picture is now being tucked in beside the picture. So now I've got to figure out, okay, so do I really want to fill in above the pictures, or do I want to leave it kind of open and have more of that teal paper showing? So I'm still thinking about that as I pop this little bird up on some little foam circles. And then this one I leave flat, like it's standing on top of that little 5-cent piece. And I really want to use this piece here that's got the skater on it, and it's talking about ice skating and everything. And so I think, well, maybe I'll put it underneath the pictures, but I did not like it there at all. So while I'm still contemplating that, I go ahead and trim off these that I have hanging off the side. So just going to snip that off a little bit and then go ahead and re-ink the edge since I cut off what I inked before. And I figure it's time to commit to something. So I'm going to put this up here because I know I want to use it. But the question then becomes, okay, well, I have this above this photo. Do I want to just leave it like that? Or do I want to add some more stuff at the top? So while I continue to think about that, I move on to something else. And I already have my title here, and I've pulled these little chipboard pieces out that I know I want to use. And this bigger circle says skate rental 15 cents. And then I have these little smaller circles that I want to kind of sprinkle throughout my top here. And I couldn't figure out how to put that skate rental one up there because it really it felt like it was too big. So here I'm thinking, well, let me try this snowflake again. Maybe it could just kind of be the end piece right here. And I like that it's a different shape because everything else is rectangular. And so the snowflake has the pointy pieces and the circles have the curves. And I find this chipboard piece from Freckled Fawn, and it says so much fun, and it's in the teal. So it perfectly bridges between the die cut on the left-hand side and the snowflake. So I'm really excited to have that. And so I put that there. And I haven't glued it down yet. I'm still thinking, is this 100% what I want to do? So while I'm thinking about that, I go to put down my title. And I went through the die cuts to see if there was something I could use as a base, but I didn't really see anything. So I just decided, I'm just going to stick it down on the paper. So I put this one on kind of bouncing the letters, and then Beauties I put straight. So my title for this one is Skating Beauties. I'm going to make sure that they're not completely straight. And then I discovered that this round chipboard piece was the exact size of the pink polka dots. Like, oh, I could put that down there. And then I went ahead and pulled these other stars off of the chipboard because I wanted to bring more of that gold, that glittery gold onto my page. And I wanted to bring some of the yellow from up at the top down to the bottom. It's not exactly the same color because the yellow at the top is kind of a mustardy color, and then the yellow in that scoreboard is a bit brighter. So I figured that the yellow, it's a little bit paler in the stars, but it's still yellow, so it works for me. So I put those there beside the title, and then I go ahead and commit to the snowflake and the So Much Fun chipboard here. So I get that attached, and then I'm like, oh, well, I put some ink around the So Much Fun chipboard, then I need to put ink around these little circles, and I have ink around all the rest of my ephemera, so I needed to do that. And since everything up at the top has the ink around it, I've got everything up there with ink on it, but down at the bottom I've not put any ink on anything. And then I get some little puffy stickers with the teal because I felt like I needed to bring teal down towards the bottom. And now I'm going to put some splattery bits. So I'm going to have a little more teal down at the bottom and some more of the shimmer. And what I end up doing, I think I'm done with this, but when I get through, it just needs a little bit more, and you'll see it in the close-up pictures here at the end that I went ahead and put some teal-colored enamel dots and hearts. Kind of just sprinkle them throughout the top, and then put some beside the title. And that is going to do it. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a like. And if you aren't subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'd love for you to join us here in this little corner of YouTube. And I think that's all. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.